It doesn't sound.
It doesn't sound.
It sounds almost like.
Oh, there's part
closer
of it
to
missing.
Yeah.
Like,
What is it?
I know because
Yeah. I don't know if it's but you said it is.
Okay. Okay. I met Levin at the Tiff Black Excellence brunch.
Okay, where?
Oh yeah, yes. I think I saw them. I saw them. When was it? Jan worked on Queen series that JC
Very good.
well, I have
It's getting through lunch.
oh yeah,
It's really hard to get it out, right?
trying to tackle well. If you lean it over, it's supposed to come out.
There were so many times where like I see her from a distance and her opening was like a video and then
I was just like, no, actually, don't. When I saw
It's on University.
In real time. Wait, are you a filmmaker? How did you not know this? What? Oh, I guess I forgot. That happens. Yo, honestly, take it away. Take it away from me.
It's still there. I went to see it the other day. That's my work.
Is that video?
What else? Very good.
Is there still good left? Sure, but there's still left.
Wow.
Oh, it's in there. Maybe I should take some.
Yeah, there's containers here.
Maybe should I do that? But he's like right here.
So you say you put your Roomy. Okay, I was like, I couldn't tell if it was Roomy or Uni. I was like, Roomy for business. Very cool.
Are you looking fashion?
Visual machines. When I studied design.
And a painter and a digital artist.
What do you do? Are you an artist as well? Sorry.
Filmmaker, actor, director,
This is my manager. Sorry, I am paying attention. I just like, don't want to forget to send a message.
I feel like you have
Yeah, filmmaker, lens-based artist, writer. Yeah. What is your name again?
Ilana. Yeah. Thank you. It's
nice. You got the good stuff. Marrow. Wow, this is just such a nice precursor to tomorrow. Are you also having a quote-unquote Thanksgiving?
Right. I feel like they took the bus. Oh, yeah. Right.
I mean, we had to eat.
Yeah, I like that idea of the angle. Sorry. Have you played at other 9 nights as well? They don't really have 9 nights here, right?
Not that I have ever heard anybody asking. I said,
No.
I didn't even know this was a ninth night.
You didn't know that this was a 9 night?
I found out as soon as the band said it. I was like, oh, interesting.
Oh, but have you been to Nine Nights though?
Yeah. Well, our version of it.
Where?
I'm not from Jamaica, I'm from Trinidad.
In Trinidad, right? Yeah, I mean, I was always trying to find, like, there's a lot of videos online from Jamaica of Nine Nights, but I'm always finding, Tobago, I see a lot of Nine Nights from Tobago, but not so much in Trinidad.
Yeah.
There is some? And is it the same kind of, with the bands and the singing?
We don't use bands, we use drums.
Oh, it's the drums, right? Because I got used to the singing and the bands and the dancing and the whole place dancing and crazy.
It's crazy. There's dancing.
Yeah.
But no, not bands.
Because even the Tobago ones, when I watch them, they're sort of sitting around, people are singing together.
The culture it's transformed, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the modern age people are not familiarized with the drumming and the folklore that goes behind it.
Right.
Especially the youth and stuff. So for a lot of modern day people, they've incorporated the bands and stuff as you mentioned, but also most people don't really they're there because they're familiar with the title of the event,
Right.
but they don't really know how to participate within the rite itself.
Because I love it. Because I just came back from Jamaica and I went to a bunch of them, and it's like you just go in the middle and you dance the whole night. And the bands don't just play. Because I go to, there's different kinds. So the ones I go to is the revival ones, the revival music, and then they sing soca, they sing Afrobeat, they sing reggae, they sing dancehall, and even the dancing is like you can't even sometimes tell. Am I at a Nine Night about the dead, or am I at a party or a fete?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But then I know there's some of the more traditional ones with the drumming and very much African spiritual,
It's not
right?
that much different. I'm
No?
telling you, it has the same atmosphere.
Yeah.
The song, what a lot of people don't realize is if you really go deep into all of the history of the songs that they really used to sing that are not modern day,
Right.
those songs were the ones that they were singing with drums. And a lot of the songs were related to the reincarnation cycle because they were doing it around a time where a spirit is left.
Yes.
So revelry was a custom as it was generally encouraged that people would at that time have children to replace the spirit that is departed. So it was always a joyous time,
Yes.
regardless of how people manifested with it now versus how it was before. Not that much has changed. It's just we don't use drums anymore because people don't really know how to do that.
Yes.
But spirits is it.
And it's very sexual and erotic. The ones I've gone to. I don't want to say sexual because that's sort of undermining.
And I would not you're not wrong, and that's where I say people were encouraged to procreate.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
because of, as you said, the more spiritual elements of it have kind of been less involved due to the modernization, that understanding of how the sacredness of sexuality and its necessity in life it's less part of the affair, so it kind of seems more like this fete, as you were saying, where it's just this broke down kind of vibes. Yeah, it should be that.
Yeah. No, but everything you just said fits. Because even the revival rhythms I'm thinking of, absolutely. Because even the drum in the band is very significant. That holds the whole thing. And even the rhythm of the songs is very much a heartbeat rhythm. Constantly, right? And even the movements. Even watching the people dancing to, even whatever they're playing, the movements are still all the traditional African movements. And then you start to see, even when you think of, going to a soca fete or a dance hall or whatever, you realize a lot of our movements that are modern are actually based on all of that. So anyway, thank you. What's your name again?
Dere.
And I've known you since you were...
Popcorn.
I know, man, popcorn. Hi, thank you for letting me jump from things because I know you guys are talking. Sorry. Oh yeah, that's right. You can listen to the things which I haven't done. If you remember, this is in conjunction with How Many Colors Has the Sea, and it is tonight we did what a sort of a 9-night, as you can hear. And I won't spend a long time on here because I was here the other day you saw this. Anyway, okay, so read it through.
Always want to do something outside of it, right?
I mean, I get it, but it's also like my heart stops a little bit every time I
So we've got drinks. You know, like a 9-night thing of the food. So jerk chicken. And gravy, white rice, rice and peas, curry goat, and veggie chana. There's the curry goat there. This is the veggie chana. It's terrible. Ackee and saltfish. And there's a lot, and it's good. Like it's ackee. I think it's vegan ackee. So there's no fish in there actually. And then more jerk chicken. And this rum punch. That's quite lovely. And then just, but then what I love that is hidden back here is black cake. Oh, and there's fruits. But this black cake, I can't wait. But I'll wait till I bring it out. It's lovely. It's lovely.
One of those things, but I get really frustrated.
Energy. It's so funny.
Sorry.
I'm drunk. We do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Me too.
And even that has expanded.
I can go upstairs and get an overview, right? Up there?
I'm not sure, actually. I think so.
I think you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Just do it.
Yeah, what were we saying?
Just go.
You're gonna say
I was
something.
Say that, I was just saying that you were one of the founding members
Okay.
of Blockorama, Blackness Yes.
Say what again?
You were one of the founding members of Blockorama,
Yeah.
Blackness Yes.
Yeah.
And these folks didn't know.
You know, sometimes you have to turn the camera on yourself.
On me?
Yeah.
He does that at the end.
I do a wink. Well, other people can do that to me. I'm behind the camera for this, right? This work is phenomenal. This show, if you come see this, there's a video installation in there, incredible. And again, you saw this yesterday, but I just wanted to get Lovely. Lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Courtney. I'm Douglas.
I'm Charles, yeah.
Oh, Charles.
Charles.
I mixed it because my friend Courtney was
That's
one of the
okay,
reading.
that's okay.
So I'm just curious. I sort of do this stuff for my Instagram and YouTube
Okay.
stuff, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I always like to chat with the artists a little bit, just
Yeah.
out of respect. So what did it mean for you to have the 9-night piece as part of this show? I know I'm putting you on the spot, so.
Well, I really wanted a way to sort of send off the spirits. I feel like some of the work that should have been done was never done for those that perished in the Middle Passage. And we actually all still continue to suffer that loss, even though it might not be in our awareness. So the kind of intention was to bring it to awareness and then also do the work that needed to be done around grieving their loss and then celebrating their kind of passage into the next round.
And so this is a ritual, is an important piece of this process, right?
Yeah.
Saying-
So it was always, the artwork itself was always to be a space that enabled this kind of work to be done. We also did a kind of blessing ceremony at the beginning of the thing with with First Nations elder for the piece, kind of to welcome this work to happen on the territory. But it seemed the integrity of the piece demanded that it happen. Yeah.
Right. No, it's beautiful, and it's funny because I don't know, you know Claire Carew, the artist Claire Carew.
Vaguely.
Yeah, and she does a piece. She it was in one of the shows that Wisdom was in. Andrea Fatona's curated piece.
Okay.
Right, for the Dawa Collective. She does show, and Claire has a piece in there called "Did You Miss Us When We Were Gone?" I don't know if you know that piece, and it's really about the question about as she went back to the continent, African continent. She was curious about evidence of how they mourned the loss of these millions of people who left, right?
Yeah.
So it opened even my question about, that's an interesting thing to think about. And so I've been talking to some of my friends from the continent around, when you were growing up, were you aware that these people had left? And was there missing? Was there mourning, ritual of grief, or just acknowledgement of these people that were gone? And it's this funny, interesting conversation because some people, our generation, do not have that conversation.
Sadia Hartman talks about that, about this sort of the silence in Africa around kind of this topic, and which also points to kind of maybe to guilt and complicity. Like I don't know, it's complicated. Like, the whole, so it's I think it's a difficult topic for us to talk about. We want, as we're the kind of living descendants of those who made it. I'm talking about those who perished in the Middle Passage. But still, as part of our story, as a loss to our humanity.
But I also think, even when you say that, many of those who were lost and perished may have been on ships or in spaces with those of us who did.
Exactly.
Those who did
so
survive.
there were relations or friendship, or there was some intimacies or whatever, however it was constructed. They were there. Their loss had to have been felt by someone, at least, when they were pulled away from their community, when they were left, when they perished on the ships. And I don't know. I feel like it's to maintain our humanity, we actually have to acknowledge the losses as well. And in not doing, I mean, you see that happening today. That there's like this kind of relentless violence, and there's no opportunity to actually really account for the losses. And it's like, and that's actually part of the dehumanization process. So that's where part of it comes from, and then also there is these spiritual entities are real. We have to, I think, and they're related to us. We have to find our ways back to our relatedness to them, and our path forward actually is partially dependent on their transitions and their paths forward.
And I think what I'm struck by with your work is that it's actually articulating very clearly that memorializing of loss, right? That I think, because when I go to and I'm a big fan of night nights in Jamaica. I just came back the other day and I went to one of my step uncle's night nights, and of course they're more the revival ones with the bands and the singing and the dancing and all of that. And I appreciate them in lots of ways. And I also think of Carnival, which I love, Juve, I love those kinds of things. And I just think in all of those, I feel is somehow the practice of the memorializing, right? Without always necessarily naming that connection right through to the transatlantic slave trade. And I even think of how, I remember Professor Beckles from Barbados is doing a whole, kind of documentation of the history of loss, right? Including the people who did make it, but then were beaten to death or, stressed to death in the plantations, right? And he talks, for example, about Jamaica had over 1 billion something plus slaves at a certain point, and then only 300,000 was left. So he said, so something happened to those people that is about being worked to death, being beaten to death, being killed, some who probably decided to take their lives or run away. So I just feel that, and I think there's a through line to, as you said, what we're all walking around with in terms of legacy of histories in our psyches and consciousness, which is probably to me the idea of the connection to the spirit world that is in us, among us, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's really powerful what you're naming very clearly and consciously.
I mean, if you see the way violence continues to be perpetuated in Jamaica, and so like that violence becomes so embedded in our psyche and in how we understand how the world operates and so on. I think there is a desire to kind of start to kind of pull that apart and allow such a tight knot at the moment, but to just start to kind of pull those threads apart in a way that we can maybe start to get a little bit of movement in there and find ways to change those things.
And I think it's such an important part of our liberation is to also to say, I'm actually sad. I'm actually grieving. I want to bawl. You know what I mean?
I remember going to Treasure Beach some years ago, and we were staying at a woman's house, and we were talking about kind of how dangerous the sea there is because there's quite strong currents and so on. And he gets very casually said, "Oh yes," and it swept my son away, and he died. But such is life, and it was like he just sort of almost skipped over the sadness and mourning. And of course, we were strangers, so who knows what was, what was really happening for her. But at the same time, there was a way that she just seemed so in a way prepared for loss, like that it was unexpected in her life. That it kind of didn't demand the kind of a full grieving, and it sort of struck me. It's like, it's because we're constantly told that we're going to lose. Like our anyway, this is a little bit of a big aside, but
it's like a normalizing of a grief and a pain,
normalizing of the pain to a point where it's not even acknowledged as pain. It's just like that's. And I think,
And it sees some of the things around the construction of us as people who have a higher threshold for pain, we just suffer, and even the idea of sometimes the spectacle of our losses and our pain sometimes, in terms of even pop culture in a way that really...
right?
No,
I mean, I think that's very, very present. Like
Yeah.
we're expected to kind of, you know, demonstrate violence, or it's almost like an entertainment.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
thank you for even just a little bit. Like, we could go on for there's a
Okay.
lot more. There's a lot to say, but thank you for even just giving me a little moment. Because, yeah, I mean, thank you. Beautiful piece of work, and even just these pieces around. I missed yesterday because I had to be with family, but I heard it was also amazing. So
Yeah, that was really a great evening.
All right.
Okay.
Again, I'm Douglas.
Okay, Douglas.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Link me on Instagram.
I will. All right. Take care.
Because we have an accent, you're supposed to lose it.
It's like almost a weird. Exactly. Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
It's also just like wanting to bring less attention to yourself. Yeah, because the attention is hot. Be yourself. You're code switching. Because the attention is negative. Right? That's what it is. And so I would say the issue is not that I'm Jamaican or I'm whatever or I'm black or I'm queer. It's that, we live in a xenophobic society. We live in a white supremacist society. We live in a homophobic society. Right? So it's about the discrimination that's the issue, not about your identity. And so people with languages and dialects and accents, you need to listen. Like everybody else, you need to listen harder if that's not your, as opposed to making them twist up themselves to be understood by you in the way that you are accustomed to hearing and understanding people.
Because we listen to white South Africans, we listen to Australians, we listen to the French. It's just like we're also talking about language and names, right? Somebody was saying today something about, her name and the fact that her name, people struggle with saying her name.
What's her name?
God, I'm forgetting now, but it was one of those names you said, it's not coming to me, but basically she was saying how she started to fight to have her name said the way it should be said because she was shortening it or being okay with people, whatever. But she said, you learn those complicated Russian names, you learn all these other kinds of names. Right? But who ends up having to adjust your names? It's usually black and brown people, right? So it's like, anyway, so to me it's the same kind of idea around who's always adjusting and what does it mean? And as you said, Courtney, what is it really about? Anyway, I just jumped in this conversation. I didn't know what you were all talking about.
I also think that what you said about wanting to be understood, sometimes I don't need them to understand me. So when I come across especially with other Guyanese people, when I come across other Guyanese people, even in the workplace, because there's this weird phenomenon in Stratford where there's like a company of 60 actors and 15 of us are Guyanese. So I don't know how it is.
No Nigerians?
And at the end of the day, if they really wanted to, they would understand.
Yeah.
Because it's not exactly. It's really I love it.
And so you can all talk freely, giving feedback around, yes, document, but not to the point of feeling like surveillance.
No.
Right? Emil Wilbekin.
Oh, Emil?
Yeah, Emil said that to me, and I thought, okay. So they can free talking.
Been dying to do that, eh?
You're happy that I'm on there?
Because you also have to be in the archives. You also have to be.
Nicely said. That was the last word.